way. Get on back, ankles today. Damn. Alright, let's try this once more, shall we? The previous video, I had to put on private. Because again, unlike the rest of these motherfuckers, I have some sense of decorum. I have some sense of decency. Okay? No matter what my issues are with people, I'm not reduced to using children and teenagers to do my bidding. So unlike the rest of these motherfuckers, I've got a little bit of taste. Okay? And I'm not a coward as to hide behind teenagers and the youth and children. But I'm a cowardly bitch. Cowardly man, cowardly woman. Can only do things sitting in cars. I have taste. So I couldn't play that, okay? The laws wouldn't permit. I would have a desire to be recording children, but that's the reason I had to end that. I'd actually asked them politely, but their influence is that of their environment, okay? I asked them politely, initially. I said, please go the other way. Well, some of you were there, you saw that. I asked them, I'm recording, could you go the other way? Okay, so again, the ignorance, the disrespect is a fruit of their parents and it's a fruit of their environment. Okay, and what kind of chances are their parents, their uncle, their auntie, their cousin, their whomever is an individual that has a problem with me? So now with that being said, what self-respecting adult that is a good, clean, and wholesome Christian or an upstanding member of society, what kind of individual sends their youth, their teenagers? Okay, that's something for the world to start asking. Okay, as we don't want to believe certain things, it's like, what kind of energy does that? That wasn't random children. Okay, no, it wasn't. As I was stating before, I came here, I do what I normally do, which is give time for the karmics to do what they do every day. Okay, and that is stalk and follow me. To give this cult, this coven, this group, this posse, all of these various individuals time to do what they do daily. I think the last title says they do this daily. I don't think I had a chance to put it here. Okay? So I came here and I sat here and I took enough footage of the activity because I am going to be filing officially today on some of them. Okay? And when I say filing, I'm not talking about the RICO case. That's in progress. I'm saying I have enough data to charge these individuals that to file, to go to the police and provide what I have, and then now if they don't do nothing, then they're just incriminating themselves. Because I'm not a detective. That's not my job to do the detective's work, to all of that, okay? So, as I said, I gave space and time for them to come and do their typical shenanigans. And as it's classic, I get here, and the moment I get here, it could be absolutely zero activity, absolutely no one here for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole lot of people that seem to come around. And I just go with it. It's okay. That's why I didn't rush, because I wanted, this is a process that I'm doing. Okay? Me and my son are targeted individuals. There's many people that are like us. Now, as I was saying, me, I cannot speak for all people who are experiencing something like this. But for me, reasons. Okay, not all of the individuals have the same issue with me. Okay, this is strictly to do with, I'm not a traditional religion. Okay, and when you're a radical and an extremist, you allow yourself to get into things that you have no business doing, basically violating the constitutional rights of other citizens. Okay, such as myself and my son. Okay, your bent on philosophy, religion, spirituality, that's not to influence illegal behavior, because these people are committing a federal offense. Okay, I don't care what they have managed to convince themselves, this is a federal offense. Okay, but unfortunately what happens is you don't control freedom. Okay, maybe you got a lot of money, maybe you have a lot of influence, maybe you know the mayor, maybe you know what I'm saying, and misuse of power, misuse of those things, because I believe this, and I don't like this person, and we don't like what they're saying. And that's what some of this is towards me. I didn't know that they were watching me on social media, because I don't knock on these people's doors. I'm not like the Jehovah's Witness and many of the other religions and ways when people do their outreach, okay? I'm not knocking on their doors. I'm not putting flyers on their doors. I'm not praying on cards and putting it on their doors. I'm not praying on cards and putting oil on cards and putting it on their cards. I'm not throwing crystals at them. I'm not calling them on their platforms and saying, oh, go and get a Reiki session. Oh, go and get, So that's making it even more clear, actually, because I've made it a point. When you get the vibes of a place and of a people, if you're wise and intelligent, you're not going to push, because you're wanting to respect people anyway. People have a right to feel and believe what they wish. That's not my jurisdiction, just like it ain't theirs. Okay? It's not my jurisdiction. It's not my business. Now, as I've said, we already got some to the right of us that's here so that they can listen and record. They're sitting there and they're typing as they speak. They could be people who maybe recently got out of jail. They could be recovering addicts. They could be a part of the cult. Maybe, maybe not. Because what I'm trying to tell you all is there's various different people in my case. They're not all, and some of them are right behind me right now. Their cars are on, you're all hearing the motors. And they're sitting in there. Now, the argument could very well be, somebody's going to say, plausible. Maybe they're picking up somebody. No, they're not. Okay. So, this is why I'm going to start. I'm going to start with some small stuff, and I'll charge you. And then the RICO case will be formed. The bigger RICO case will be formed out of that. There are people who don't like me because, I already mentioned that. For some, yes, racism is still a thing. Okay? Socialism is still a thing. Gender bias is still a thing, so you have some misogynists. You have women who are internalized misogynists because they are they have they call it internalized misogyny. Okay? So these are the women who are, they're called pygmies, and stuff like that. But, so these are also the individuals in which, again, these are people that have been trolling me on social media unbeknownst to me. I have to say this because I never, not that it would have been wrong to do, but I'm just proving the point that I've never even done that. In Nevada, I advocated and put flyers and did those things, but I've never done any of that in the state of Texas. Not even once. So it's proving that this has all to do with the people who are my son's landlords and managers, to my exes, to relatives. It has everything to do with that. Because how else do they know who the hell I am in terms of social media? I'm not saying physically, okay? Because physically, if I'm in their space, okay? But other than that, how do they know? Just like those kids. That's because someone is watching. And then the kid or the teenager or whatever, and then it goes from there and there and there. That's how it happens. But even still, like I said, for me, it's like, okay, well, I understand as an adult if I see something that I don't like. I understand as an adult, I don't really expect my kids, but I understand as an adult that I really don't have to, that person has a right to their opinions, even if there's opinions about me, or I cannot watch their stuff. But see, that's me as an adult. That's a lot of people right there. You guys got to get over appearance too. Some of these people, they have shit. They're not all run down, beat down, and broke down, less disgusted. Some of them got money. They're tyrants and they're entitled their whole lives. And they get off on works like this because they have unchecked mental illness. Okay? Undealt with personality issues. The world around them taught them that they were a god. And that they could do whatever they want and nothing would ever happen and nobody could ever say anything. And because of that, they turned into the monsters that they are. The Gucci persons. And pecs and muscles and hands and tats. So, now, they're watching, they have a problem for those reasons. Some have a problem because they're secret competitors. Okay? They want my life, they want my creativity. Okay? And then they get into this stuff. And that's why they stumble. Some, it gets, the seriousness of it escalates depending on what group it is. Okay? As it pertains to my family, the relatives that are involved, and some of my exes and their lovers and stuff, this is where it's really more serious and criminal, and this is where I will be charged. So it's clear lines that people either don't like what I do or they're secretly in competition with it. We've established that. Okay? It's also the case of jilted lovers and ex-lovers' lovers and their jilted lovers. You see how this keeps going and going. Okay? I didn't realize from the beginning that all of this was a trap in terms of my relatives being involved and making deals with groups and stuff like that, paying people basically to do stuff since we've been here. And that's what's been all of these issues. It was happening before Texas, though. This was happening in Nevada. I wasn't all clear about it. I was at the beginning stages. Okay. This is daily. But the escalation of this is what I am going to be filing against. Delta Manor is incriminated. This is in Beaumont, Texas. Oklahoma State is too. But since currently my son is in Delta Manor and this is where the current activity is happening, then I'm going to be starting with individually going against people, including Delta. Because, like I said, my son has a digital lock now. I put a short on my TikTok showing some very odd and unusual things. And the abuse and all the strategies that they've been doing is to make me so utterly tired or exhausted or confused because there's so much chaos going on that I'm not able to pay attention to the small things. but they actually chose the wrong pitch. Let me rephrase that. They chose the right pitch. They chose the right pitch. They've been and they attack my son daily. The people, I believe the cult of little coven meets upstairs in the unit above it. One of the covenants. Because as I said, one of the cults who plays the games, who, whatever language, you walk over. But they meet up there to, do some things there. Because again, the proximity. Yeah, they're getting chewed up, but they're still doing it. The noise. I think I shared, I'm going to share some more stuff footage. I can't do it on here, but I will be sharing it. Okay? Yes, I am. And have every right to do so. Again, when you call the so-called authority, that's to do all this stuff, it makes you call into question, what's their involvement? Because it ain't hard. So, as I said, this is daily. The abruption of noise that's beyond reasonable and far beyond even the so-called the hours where it's supposed to be the quiet hours. And all this has been filed and recorded to no avail, which leads us to what? Now, I was told that the individual in that unit, whoever the name is, I can't say all, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I was told that they've been in that property since it was created, which also leads me to something else. That's why I said Delta is incriminating. Because there's no more regular key. See, when you have the regular key, this makes something very plausible that I could have lost the key maybe at some point, found it, and maybe somebody snuck and copied it. Because y'all know how we like to play that game, right? It could be that the previous tenant, or we could really play long and hard with an old school manual key in terms of how did someone get access outside of the key owner. Of course, management and their staff is always at play because they have masters, right? But the point that I'm making is it still gives variance to where it could be anything. But these new age types of locks and keys is not providing a lot of variance here. The reasons why they attack my resources as well as the rest of the targets who are dealing with this stuff. Because if you trim this and look into it, you're going to hear a thread that sounds very similar. Okay, they attack these people's health and well-being, their finances. So essentially, they can't take care of themselves and have all of the things in order to protect themselves because they're doing all these different things. So if they're trying to make sure that that person can't record something, but their internet. So that, we'll have this person, the neighbors here, they're part of the cult, but we'll pay them. See how they go? So that, they can go in, and don't say nothing, and then you can have them look out the window up there, and just in case if the collective if the collective, if the collective comes back, we can honk, we can let them know, hurry up, run, get out of there, you name it. Okay? And that's what I believe has been happening. Okay? Even when I had the camera in the front, the battery's out, but there's no internet now. A lot of this stuff has been shut down, which is working in my favor in a way. In a way. Because all of that, all the tech devices is getting kicked out. It's about all we've done with. So we're essentially going to have all new, brand new shit. And yeah. Okay. But back to what I'm saying. If you all saw that post on my TikTok, this is to be taken seriously. These people are psychotic. You know, the ignorance that came out of those children, you know, they've been shaping these children. It's the saddest thing I've seen in all my days. It is. They have a teenager that I've caught on like the scooter, the old school scooters. My son used to have one. I have caught this one same teenager. They live in Delta Manor. I've caught this one teenager. It's a boy. A good 8 times. Up to today. Following 8 times. Can't be nothing. This young adult can't be more than maybe, and I could be wrong because people do look young nowadays, but you know, he can't be more than what, 17, 18, if that. Because I mean, to me, he looks like he looks like he's about 16. To me. And so what that tells me, though, is that they got some influence and leadership of their lives that's giving them a Walmart gift card, promised to get them the new Nintendo Switch or Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad. They don't care about these kids. They don't care about their own fucking kids. They don't. Because they put them on a path to become the new sociopaths. They put them on a path to become the new stalkers of society. They're grooming them. These teenagers. And then we look up and wonder why. It's like, well, y'all made them that way. You know, hey. The reasoning for this, though, they do it because, again, you know, they're trying to save themselves criminal charges, they think. But that's not how this is going to work. They think by sending their teenager, yeah, that was one of them that, yeah. And so, yeah, I got them all. Appreciate that shit. Follow it up. Now, so there's been deals, unbeknownst to me, since me and my son got to the state. Our skanky, trashy relatives, along with the other ones that they were working with, stuff that was done to me and my son, on top of stuff that different people were offering. So there's money behind this. That's the only thing that would have any of this trash here that's fucking vested. You can bet your bottom dollar. My son is an adult disabled. He's supposed to be protected, but that is the last thing that has happened. These psychopaths think this shit is cute. And it's not going to be cute when some shit happens to them in their life. They think it's funny. And it ain't going to be funny. If my relative, listen, I'm letting you all know this right now, don't. You hear me and you hear me fucking good. Because I know you watch. I know your staff. I know. I know that your former staff. I know what they did. I mapped it out here. Delta, Oakley Estates, Mark Bounds, Beaumont Housing Authority. Hear me good. I know, and I have proof. So here you go. Consider yourself told. If you let one more motherfucker in my son's unit, understand? I don't give a fuck if it's the commissioner of commission. If you let, I don't give a fuck. Hear it? Hear good. If any of you let anyone else at all, ever, when me and my son ain't back, and I ain't gave you no goddamn permission, you and yours are gonna wish you didn't do that. And I hope that I am crystal clear. And I mean ever the fuck again. Do it. If you let them hoes in the unit above him and anybody else, everybody in the whole little fucking operation gonna wish you didn't do that. Don't worry, it's not a threat, it's a promise, it's a guarantee. But I am making it crystal clear, this needs to be understood. I don't give a fuck who you know and where you know I'm at. Understand me? Let NAB Cop and anybody else in that goddamn unit. You understand me, motherfuckers? I hope so. For you. I don't care that you don't like me. That is not a me issue. That's a them issue. Don't care about that. That's psychotic behavior. That is something has left out of the building. If you are convinced that it's in your jurisdiction to do that, that means something's checked out. Because it ain't about liking me, and it's not about liking my son. My son is discriminated against for the different reasons. Like I said, we're targeted for different reasons. But essentially, people want our light. Like these weirdo groups, they want our light, they want our attention, they want frequency. And I'm going to give them all shit. I'm going to, I put spells on their spells. Yeah, and I will continue to. Because again, this intrusion, the audacity, this entitlement to me, my son, or space, like my psychotic relative, she's gone. She's gone. And if you're letting the hoe in there to you, you already know. One day, maybe you'll stop being a coward and face me. Maybe. Instead of hiding behind your little proteges that you finna fuck around and get them dealt with. Y'all better not be letting none of my relatives or my son's relatives in his goddamn unit, or you gonna be bankrupt. You understand? Bankrupt. Can somebody say broke? Can somebody say lose it all? This is federal offense, and it is a violation against his human and civil rights and mine. And if the cops in this town don't take this seriously, can you say, uh-oh, they get paid to upset me. They get paid to disrupt me. They get paid to upset and disrupt my son. This is what is going on in Southeast Texas. Now, this is serious because, again, if they're giving people permission, if they're giving people access to my son's unit, this is why I say, can somebody say, oh, because, it is. So if they're giving people the key and access to my son's unit, what else could they possibly be doing if they're giving them that? Could they be poisoning food? Could they be putting stuff in the refrigerator? Could they be putting poisons? Could they be putting poisons? Could they be taking our personal belongings, pieces of stuff, little things that they think we wouldn't notice, so that they can do their psychopathic ritual work? Could they be doing things to create, portals or access points for their weirdo shit? Hmm? This is why this will be taken seriously one way or the other. No one will be able to be comfortable until I get justice. I'm going to make the world uncomfortable until me and my son gets justice in our honor. Period. I will continue to share proofs. I have pictures for y'all that I'll be sharing with y'all momentarily. I have something else I have to do. Because like I said, I'm creating a profile since apparently those who are paid to do this shit is incompetent. It's not a joke. I'm not bitter. I'm not, actually, the whole healing journey shit I learned, some of it's bullshit. See, I ain't gonna get too deep on this video about some stuff that I really know. I am perfectly sound. I am what they are afraid of. I'm what they're afraid of. Because let me tell you something, ain't nobody vested in some shit that they ain't worrying about. I can guarantee, because there's just nobody is vested, bitch. I am what they're terrified of, and with reason at this point. See, originally, them being terrified of me is wrong. It's erroneous. It's based on ignorance. It's based on delusion and illusion and stuff that is based on their program. Assumptions. But now, it's accurate. And the only reason why it's accurate is for this fact only. They have violated my son and me. They have committed criminal acts against my son and me repetitively. So that is why they should be terrified of me. We are nobody's, we belong to ourselves, okay? This entitlement, because they want to make money and shit, that's not my problem. They fence to not even have nothing to live for at this point now. Because they wanted the high life and the soft life off of the back of my son and me. So I'm going to give everything and everybody share help. Attempting to entrap and block and stop is what I am going to require. Blood. That's right, blood. Blood. Eye for an eye. Every bit of suffrage and loss and disruption to my son and to me, I require equal restitution and retribution to be dished out to every motherfucker who benefited from it. Casters, co-creators, stalkers, bounty hunters, benefactors, crackheads, meth heads, cult leaders, cult members, relatives, other people's relatives. That's right. That's left. That's correct. That's up. That's down. That's all around, in and out, in and out, forever. To get me off of the stuff. I'm working through this. I'm managing it. I'm incorporating, like still doing the stuff, the cleansing for me and my son, even though I know what part of it is the distraction. But here's the thing. I have to balance all this out, And when I started to realize like that people, I wasn't gonna go that far, but a part of the reason why I got the digital key, this was my strategy. Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get his key, his lock changed. I'm gonna get his lock changed. And I'm gonna see what happens. Okay? I'm gonna see if they still trying that bullshit. Okay? Because if they are, then this is just essentially gonna help me to nail these sons of bitches. And I have every full intention to do so. And I will be successful at it. Okay? Again, this is not a joke. This is not for attention. This is not me spazzing out. I'm possibly one of the soundest things on this land. And just because I'm not sitting in no goddamn Mercedes Benz or no fucking BMW and with some fancy schmancy shit, some of them people are the kookiest ones that you need to be worried about. Now, FBI, whatever, either y'all get on your JOB, or can we say oh for this whole shit? Allied Security, Fusion Centers. Allied Security participates with Fusion Centers, and I was given that information by someone. I said I had proof. And I like that because of the way I strategize, they don't believe I do. This works for me. Because what it does is allow me to get even further incriminating information to back up the proofs that I already got. As I was sitting here, one of the ladies that I met, excuse me y'all, I know I shouldn't be doing this on camera, but you know, I lost a lot of weight here recently, and I didn't realize that I did. You know how you got so much going on? Like, it's that crazy that I even realized that. That's some crazy shit. The stuff that's going on is so outlandish that I didn't realize that until you start putting on certain shit. And you're like, what's the problem? Why is this looking like that? Yeah, I didn't even realize it, so bear with me. Okay, I lost a lot more weight than I thought. So I'm having to make adjustments to a lot of shit. See, they want me to feel stuck, like, well, what do I do? Do I just sit in the house or do I get out? No, I'm gonna let them walk into a trap. Take your whore asses in my son's apartment again. Go to his door again. Send somebody there again. Because I'm putting curses and spells on your shit. And what you take is a curse. This entitlement to our energy is sickening. It makes me wonder what's going on upstairs in any of these people. Sickening. There's a curse on it though. Put curses on. I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm gonna take shit. It's already cursed on it because that's my ongoing shit. I put shit on our bio, our objects, everything, all through there because I know what I'm dealing with now. I did that. So very well, you're entitled, and your entitled ass is going to have some shit fall up your ass that you ain't going to be able to spell cast your way out of. stay tuned. We will have a reading maybe tonight if I have time. Okay, we will have a reading, but that's something separate. Okay, I'm going to be sharing more proofs since they're trying to call my bluff. Since they're still at the same Hunger Games. I'm not a part of your little shit, and I have no interest in being part of none of your shit. We are beings, sovereign beings. Okay, this ain't no fucking Hunger Games. They ass is expensive to be in some fucking Hunger Games. Want to test my gangster? I don't need to prove. See, I'm not a karmic, honey. I'm not auditioning for shit. Okay? I don't need to prove my skill set for something that I'm not even fucking auditioning for. Okay? I have no need to prove my knowledge and my intuition in that sense. And what I miss, my team makes sure I get anyway. But see, that's the shit I'm talking about. Let's see if she knows this. Let's see if she knows that they're ignorant and they're hanging themselves. Oh, she's so smart. Let's see if she get this. That's their problem now. That's why they ass is a shit scream. Because I'm not nobody's problem or business. Neither is my son. And the faster these motherfuckers get this, maybe they have a shot. But it's too late for many of them because they've violated too many things. Criminal law. This refusal to see my sibling's obsession. She's a whack job. And always has been. Who has that level of obsession with their sibling? In fact, what beings have obsession with some other person except somebody that's one flew over the cuckoo's nest? These are parasitical narcs, and I queso all of their supply. Cancel and delete, destroy and create. I even queso their money, so now there's going to be problems for all of them. Welcome to my Hunger Game.